All right, hey folks, and welcome to A Closer Look. Today we're talking with Jarvis Green.
Yes.
Jarvis, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm happy to be here with you today.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for being here on a Sunday.
Oh, please. I mean, what else could I possibly be doing better with my time than speaking with you about what you have going on? Now, for those of you who don't know, Jarvis here runs JAG Productions.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about JAG Productions.
Yeah,
What's that?
of course. JAG Productions is a theater company. We produce classic, contemporary, and new theater through the lens of the African American experience.
Okay, and where are you all based?
You know what? We don't have a home base, right? I mean, my home office is in White River Junction, so right here. But we produce in White River. We've produced in Woodstock. We're going to be producing in Burlington. So right now we have the flexibility to produce in multiple venues.
Okay.
Yeah.
But based here in White River Junction.
Based here in White River Junction, yeah.
And what is that like? Speak a little bit about what it's like to be a production company doing theater in the African American, tradition, should we say? I don't know what.
Yeah, no, people always ask me, what does it mean to do theater through the lens of the African American? Through the lens.
Yes.
I don't think I said that when I mentioned it earlier, but through the lens of the African American experience, which basically is saying that, like, you know, in the American theater canon, the stories that are told about, you know, Black lives are very, I wouldn't say one-dimensional, but it's the same story that we're hearing over and over. And so through the lens of the African-American experience means like a canon of the body of work that like Black people write, produce, and that are about our lives. And so I think that having a platform and having a theater company that has, that produces like a huge body of Black work will sort of add to what's already kind of out there. So yes, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you want to explore every different stripe of Black life, really?
Of course,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
And in Vermont.
And in Vermont, I mean, that's where we're starting.
Right,
you know?
right. Not limited to. But for right now.
For right now.
Based here. So I find that terribly interesting, being that, you know, White River Junction, Vermont, is not a place typically known for exploring the many facets of Black life in America, but you're up to the challenge, it seems like.
I'm definitely up to the challenge. I think that, one, what I'm learning is that there are Black people here, obviously, and I'm, you know, just by me identifying as a Black theater company, the Black community, the POC community in Vermont are reaching out, and before it's like it's hard to find. Like people are just like siloed into their own communities, but you know, me producing the work that I'm doing, it kind of gives people, Black people, people of color, a place to sort of like reach out and say, hey, I'm here. Let's, you know, grab coffee or come see a show or something. And so it's almost like just like pulling the Black and POC community out and bringing us together here in Vermont. And also I love the fact that I get to provide opportunity for Black theater artists to come here and do beautiful work, work that they may not have had an opportunity to have before. So,
what a surprise!
Yeah,
of all places.
Of all places.
But that just goes to show. I mean, great art can happen anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. I mean, I struggle with that. I get a lot of that. Why Vermont? Like, why are you doing Black theater in Vermont? And I still kind of struggle with that question. I mean, I think it works two ways. One, because I get to explore all types of Black stories within a company, so you're providing opportunity for Black theater artists, opportunities that some may have never had before, and then you have this homogenous community who I think, and what I'm learning, and I'm not saying this based off of my own, but this homogenous community is like, hey, I moved here from New York, I moved here from Boston. I love where I live, but I do struggle with the fact that it is so white. And so, I'm not making excuses for white people for sure, but what I'm saying is that it gives them an opportunity to sort of I don't know, have a little bit of diversity, if you will.
You represent some sort of alternative for folks, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Who might feel like the arts and entertainment scene is too homogenized. Here you are.
Here I am.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, no, today 30 Black and brown artists will get off the train station and they will be here for JAG Fest, which is this new works play festival, basically a platform for playwrights to develop new plays. And so directors, playwrights, actors will be here for a week developing these plays, which will culminate into these stage readings of their work.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Right here in White River Junction.
Right here in, saying right and white is hard.
Let's be clear. Right here.
Right here.
In White River Junction.
In White River Junction.
At the Briggs Opera House.
Briggs Opera House,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we can catch that February
9th through the 11th.
Okay.
So Friday night, 2 shows on Saturday, a show on Sunday. All are welcome. After the first show on Friday, there'll be a really fun, celebratory champagne toast party at Piecemeal Pies right below the theater.
Oh, okay. Shout out Piecemeal Pies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's talk about how you found the talent that's going to be making up this weekend.
Yeah.
The folks that are going to come down here and really show White River Junction what they have. How'd you get in contact with these folks?
Yeah, so it was, I first started with the playwrights, and so I talk with my hands, I've noticed.
Please.
Yeah. I started with the playwrights. So basically, I reached out to the playwrights. Some were recommended by friends, most of them really. And then there was another playwright that I sort of stalked because I saw a synopsis of one of his plays, and I was like, yo.
You have to stalk sometimes.
Are you interested in this festival? So I emailed them and set up coffee dates, and that's pretty much it. And then I offer them a spot in the festival, and then they find a director and cast.
Okay. And are they excited to come down to White River Junction? And
they all coming.
Okay.
New York.
As they're coming down.
They're coming.
I was just, I'm directionally challenged myself, so I wasn't sure exactly.
Yeah, no, they are coming up.
They're coming up from, did you say New York?
New York, and
mostly?
And 90% of them are coming up from New York, and 1 or 2 of them are coming from Boston.
Okay, so these are folks sort of brought up in the Broadway tradition, is that right?
I haven't. I think, yes, they're on that track for sure. I haven't had a lot of communication with the actors or directors because all of my communication mostly have been with the playwrights, and then my production manager kind of coordinates the directors, and so, but I've did my Google search on some of these artists, and they're all doing incredible big stuff.
I'm sure, yes.
Yeah.
They're involved in JAG Fest.
Yes.
I mean, the cream of the crop.
Yes.
Or nothing less.
Of course, yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Are you comfortable in your role as sort of a can I say cultural ambassador? Is that crazy? Is that too much? Should I
don't
walk back that comment? That's to me, when I see what you're doing in Vermont, in White River Junction, to me, I feel like it's hard not to kind of cast you in that light, to see you as someone changing the culture in a way. You know what I mean? If it's too much, if it's too much to bear, I can. But that's just the way I see you. I want to know, do you see yourself that way? And if so, how does that feel? Like, what is that like? Do you accept that role? Is that...
It's like, as an artist in general, like when you're on a stage as an actor and you're portraying a role, and you have a perception or a critique or an analysis of what you saw, that's totally you. Like, you can have that. And so for me, you calling me a cultural ambassador, sure, like if that's how you perceive what I'm doing, great. But it literally just comes out of my my love for making beautiful art, and also my love for Black people, and my love for Black theater artists, especially have been one in this kind of big American theater scene, and going through my track of like what it was like for me working as an actor, and the percentage of how many of us are working, and the stories that are being told, and how
or not being told,
and how I could never. Like, reflecting back on it, is just like how our specific stories were just very rarely told, and we have to be super verse, and which is great, because that's who we are. We're versatile and we can do a lot. But when it was time to actually like fully tell our stories and the many, many, many ways in which our stories can be told, it's not there. So I'm the reason why I'm doing this is basically for that specific reason.
So speaking about coming from an actor background, a background in acting, and working, and perhaps struggling, what does it mean for you to be able to provide opportunities for actors right now? What does that mean for you?
You know what? I have to check myself. I do with that, because it's like sometimes I have to check myself on, I mean, and this is just like raw, like just letting out on like what that means, like if the providing for the opportunity for other people is a void that I'm missing. So I have to just make sure that, and check in with myself that I'm not doing this because of a lack or scarcity. And so, but no, I find it, the fact that I am providing this opportunity for Black theater, it's fulfilling, it's beautiful, it's overwhelming. I also am like full without, providing this opportunity for other people, like for myself. But I think the biggest thing for me as an artist that was hard is like I didn't have enough opportunity to just explore and play. And I think a lot of these big time actors become famous because like since they were whatever years old, they've just had opportunity to mess up, to experience something, and like Black theater artists don't have a lot of time to just explore and play and come to Vermont and work in a Black space creating art about us.
Right.
And so for me, I find that to be beautiful and lovely, and I'm here for it. I wish it was here for me when I was growing up. Nah. Yeah.
But I mean, it's a beautiful thing, though. I feel like That's okay, though. Maybe you are making up for some of your own lost time, but that's where it comes from. You know what I mean? That's
sure.
like, if something great can come out of that,
Right.
like, that's all right.
Right, right, yeah.
What's next for JAG Productions?
I was thinking
looking beyond JAG Fest.
On the horizon.
What do you see next for JAG Productions?
What's next for JAG Fest? JAG Productions.
Right, beyond
Beyond JAG Fest. So in May and June, we are doing a 3-week multi-venue full production of Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill.
Okay, and tell us about that show. What's that?
Yep, so it's a play about Billie Holiday. 4 months before she died, she gave this concert at a seedy bar in Philadelphia where only like 6 people were in the audience for the great Billie Holiday. And one particular person that was in the audience, he was dating a playwright at the time named Lainey Robertson. And he went back and told Lainey about this concert and how heartbreaking it was and how you learn about her life through the songs, but you also learn about how Black people were treated at the first half of the last century. So it's this 90-minute play of dialogue and song about her life. And it takes place like in time. And so that's Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill. Audra McDonald, who is a stage actress, played Billie Holiday on Broadway. I don't know the year, but she won her like record-breaking 6th Tony Award for her portrayal.
Congratulations!
And you can actually watch it on Amazon of that live performance of Lady Day on Broadway.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll be between White River Junction, Pomfret, Vermont, and Burlington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the first time we've actually explored this multiple venue for one show. So that's going to be a learning curve.
Taking that show on the road.
Taking the show on the road.
For the first time.
For the first time.
So you're excited?
I am excited. I'm totally excited. I think that I've worked with some really great designers and stage managers and production managers that are excited about the task. So I'm not worried. And then we'll probably pick up our August Wilson cycle in the fall. So August Wilson, great American playwright, wrote a play for each decade in the 20th century, charting the lives of African Americans.
Right.
So we did Fences last year, which was like the kickoff of us doing the entire cycle. And in the fall, we'll pick back up with another August Wilson show. Now,
is that how August did it? Did he start with Fences?
No, so we're doing it out of sequence. But he wrote them all. I don't think he definitely did not write them in order.
Right.
And
so it doesn't go necessarily 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
No.
In his initial version.
Exactly.
But he gets there eventually.
He gets there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you started with
Fences,
which is the 40s, right?
50s.
Okay.
50s.
50s.
50s. Yes.
And what's the next one going to be?
Radio Golf, which is the last. I don't even know if I should be announcing that, but
well,
yeah, it's out there now.
We can take it out in post.
Yes, yeah.
It's fine.
It's the last play of the cycle. Takes place in the 90s. In fact, when he was here 20 years ago as a Montgomery Fellow at Dartmouth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
He was finishing Radio Golf.
Oh.
And so in the fall of this year, Dartmouth and this new professor, Dr. Monica White Endownu, who will also be a post-show commentator for JAG Fest.
Wow, okay.
She is coordinating this Black Theater Summit that will happen at Dartmouth. And 20 years ago, when August Wilson was here, he had this Black Theater Summit where he gave one of his famous speeches about the state of Black theater, saying that it's alive and well, it's just not funded. And so So it hasn't happened since then, and they're going to, Monica is doing this entire Black Theater Summit, sort of like, I don't know what you would call it, but 20 years later, this is happening. We'll be doing Radio Golf. He was writing this play 20 years ago at Dartmouth. So like the theater gods, the ancestors are all
cosmic.
It's totally
truly
cosmic.
So 20 years ago, August Wilson was in the area. And gave a speech in which he said that Black theater was alive and well, but not properly funded.
Yes.
What's your take on that 20 years later? What's changed about the state of Black theater?
Yeah, I mean, there are more. I've been seeing, and I can't wait to finally meet these playwrights that I'm about to talk about. But I feel like right now in New York, there are some ferocious Black women that are writing plays that are getting the recognition that they deserve.
Should we name a few?
Yes, Jocelyn Bio. She just had a show. I forget. It's called Schoolgirls. I don't know the entire. I can't remember the entire name, but Schoolgirls, and it was at. God, Jocelyn, we were back in email too. I'm very
sorry. Forgive us, Jocelyn.
I know. I think it was the Manhattan Theater Club. There's a play called Homecoming Queen right now at the Atlantic Theater. And so these four beautiful Black women were just in the New York Times. Are all African immigrants, and or I don't even know if they're and the New York Times did this spread about their work. But no, I do think that still Black theater is just very it isn't funded. I think that there are about 70 theaters, professional theaters in this country that are pretty much, white-centric theaters that have multi-million-dollar budgets. But the struggle to get that same funding for Black theater, it's very
a challenge.
It's a challenge. I am grateful for our community that have stepped up to the plate and want to be a part of something.
You're talking about Vermont?
The Upper Valley, yes, that have supported my work and that are coming out to see what I'm doing and donating their time and money and resources. So I am grateful for that. But no, if there can equally be the amount of regional theaters and Black theaters, that would be lovely. Or more Black theater in these regional theaters.
What does it take to get an entire company down to White River Junction, up to White River Junction from places like New York and Boston? What does it take to have all of those artists come here? I mean, what work on your end does that entail? A lot of fundraising, getting the money. I heard something about a matching grant?
Yes. So we got a $15,000. So our fundraising goal for the year is $100,000. We got $15,000 from an anonymous donor. We've already raised $12,000.
Oh, congratulations.
So, thank you. So people can give a tax-deductible donation, and anything that they give will be doubled. So what it takes to get these artists here, we have to provide them housing. We have to provide their travel to and fro, so they're getting on Amtrak, coming up.
Travel expenses.
Their lodging, a stipend for their time and their energy.
Of course.
So these,
it's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy to make all of this happen. But we're doing it. So yeah.
And you should be commended. I think that the work you're doing is amazing.
Thank you. And you as well, my friend.
Me, I'm just sitting and having a chat with my buddy.
Yes.
This is not work at all. This is child's play. Come on.
Wait, a little kind of plug. When is your next podcast going to be aired? Do you know?
Oh, my podcast?
Yes, your podcast.
Well, Brown and Out,
Yeah.
the podcast that gives voice to LGBTQ people of color in Vermont.
Yep.
We are now on a weekly publishing schedule. So, what is it? The 4th today.
Yeah.
Our first episode was published the 1st of February, kicking off Black History Month in the right way.
Hey, yes.
And so I think that the next 5, we have a 6-episode first season run planned. The next 5 will be just the next 5 Thursdays.
Yeah.
So just look for those.
Beautiful.
iTunes,
Beautiful.
Google Play, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
gosh.
awesome.
All the things. All
And
the social medias.
we had a conversation, which
Yes,
I'm
we
excited.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You'll be technically episode 3.
Great.
We have a 2-part episode 1 and 2 with the same guests, and you'll be 3. Yeah.
Gorgeous. Thank you.
And oh gosh, look out for that, folks. 'Cause
Yes.
the things we get into, people need to hear.
People
I think.
need to hear.
Just like this interview. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like more people need to hear about what you have going on.
Yep.
And I'm so happy that I could be here to facilitate that
Thank
talk.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for asking me to.
Of course.
To interview you.
Of course.
And tune in for the next episode of A Closer Look.
Beautiful. Yes.